How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to my journey through Star Trek, the original series. I'm on to episode 16, which is the Galileo 7. Last episode really enjoyed Shore Leave. It was fun. Not the best episode, but just a really fun, different kind of episode. I do enjoy episodes where they're on the planet, like these strange kind of planets. I just love the settings. There's something about them. I don't know. I enjoy them. But as always, guys, there'll be a full uncut reaction to this episode as well. That'll be on my Patreon page. Link will be in the description if you want to check that out to support the channel further. And just a quick shout out to my patrons, to Ravi, to JM63, to Jonathan, to Blaze, to Mary, to Jared, to Gigi Gooding, and to Mihal. Thank you so much for the support. As always, really, really appreciate it. But with that said, let's watch the Galileo 7.
A quasar-like formation, vague, undefined, priceless opportunity for scientific investigation.
Hence their mission to seek out new life and new civilizations.
Remind you, Captain, I'm entirely opposed to this delay. Your mission is to get those emergency medical supplies to Marcus 3 and...
It's 3 days to Marcus. And the rendezvous doesn't take place for 5.
Investigate the anomaly, whatever it is.
Power up. All instruments activated. All readings normal.
This is the first time I've seen a shuttlecraft in this show, I think.
Mr. Spock, radiation is increasing.
Did they not sense this before they left?
Stop forward momentum, Mr. Latimer.
Did the Enterprise not pick it up?
Right, come in, please.
To Quo Wharf, no response.
We are out of control. Being pulled directly into the
He's so calm the way he says it, but that's probably Spock. That's just Spock. I guess it'd be good to have in a situation like this, try and keep you composed, because if you panic, you could end up making things worse.
There's one planet in this solar system capable of sustaining human life. It's type M.
Maybe they went for that. Spock might have picked up and realized that they could breathe on there. Did they set course for that, or did they just land there?
And we were simply shot into the center of the effect. Well, like a projectile.
Okay, so it wasn't by choice.
Gentlemen, I think we should move outside and make room for Mr. Scott to do his work. Mr. Latimer, Mr. Gaetano, you'll arm yourselves. Scout out the area.
Don't fancy those guys' chances, I think it would be the end of them.
If the ionization effect is as widespread as I believe it is, Doctor, they'll be searching for us without instrumentation.
Then you don't think they'll find us?
Not as long as we're grounded. We may be here for a very long time, Doctor.
We beamed down some inert material, but it came back in a dissociated condition. We wouldn't dare try it with people.
Assisted.
Thank you.
Well, Captain.
Just more obstacles. And then you've this guy.
Until 28:23.8 to continue the search.
At least it's your big chance. My big chance. For what, Doctor?
Command?
I realize that
I think Spock would make a great captain. Although maybe he doesn't have the empathy maybe sometimes that's required.
And I will do whatever logically needs to be done.
And if we ever hope to make orbit, we'll have to lighten our load by at least 500 pounds.
Weight of 3 grown men.
You could...
Yes.
And who's to choose?
As commanding officer, the choice will be mine. A random drawing of lots.
All right, Mr. Spock.
This is fascinating.
Cool.
What the hell? Holy mother! See the size of that thing?
We'll get off all right.
What does it say? Sometimes the lucky ones die first.
Nothing there. New Mexico, North America. A bit more crude about the shaft, I believe. Not very efficient.
Very efficient. Is that all you have to say?
Am I an error, Mr. Beaumont?
You,
Your colleagues just died.
There's a man lying there dead. And you talk about stone spears. What about Latimer?
My concern for the dead will not bring him back to life, Mr. Beaumont.
Mr. Spock. You don't think we should leave his body here?
Bringing him back to the ship should not interfere with our repair efforts.
I do find this kind of stuff very interesting, though. It's kind of... He's not intending to, but from their point of view, it's like he's very cold, just disinterested in the fact that one of the crewmen died. You can see why they're upset about it. It creates a great dynamic for Spock and the human crew members.
Yes, Commissioner.
I don't relish the thought of abandoning your crewmen out there.
At least he said that. So one
I
person.
can't believe you're serious about leaving someone behind. Now, it is more rational to sacrifice one life than 6, Doctor. I'm not talking about rationality.
Mr. Spock, we're ready.
For what?
The service is for Latimer.
Mr. Boma, we're working against time. Perhaps you know the correct words for such an occasion.
Mr. Spock, that's your place.
My place is here.
I get him a little bit here. They are.
Please let us die like men, not machines.
Get him here. Like it's imperative that they get to repair as soon as possible. Couldn't one of the others go out and do it though? Like the Doctor could do it. He's next in command.
It could be a simple tribal rite, assuming a tribal culture.
Oh, Mr. Boma.
By hitting them hard, give them a bloody nose, make them think twice about attacking us.
Yes, I agree.
But to take life indiscriminately.
The majority.
I'm not interested in the opinion of the majority.
What about your own crewman who was killed?
Components must be weighed. Back shortly. Right. Gentlemen, you follow my orders to the letter. Firing only when so instructed.
How long can you maintain those orders without going against the orders in order to try and protect yourself? Let's say, because there's fear there as well. You might think your life is at stake.
Direct your phasers to 2 o'clock and to 10 o'clock.
Ceasefire.
Should think twice before bothering us again.
I still say we should have killed them.
It was not necessary. Galileo, Mr. Gaetano, you remain on guard here, keeping contact with the ship.
What? On his own? No, that's not a good decision.
I can adjust the main reactor to function with a substitute fuel supply.
So
We do. Our phasers. I can adapt them and use their energy. It'll take time, but it's possible.
Yeoman,
Does that mean you don't have to use their phasers anymore?
But what if the creatures attack again?
they won't attack for at least several hours. God. In less than 24 hours, the Enterprise will be forced to abandon its search in order to make a rendezvous. Your phaser.
I mean, he's right here. It's their only. It seems to be their only route to survival.
Landing parties 1, 2, and 3 report to transporter room for immediate beaming down to surface of the planet.
Planet. To be sure luck if our landing parties find anything.
I'm depending on luck, Lieutenant. It's almost the only tool we have that'll work.
Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, now Spock, if he's dead, this one's on you. Definitely on you. I've agreed with some of the decisions you've made, but
Take
not
back to
this.
Mr. Scott for conversion,
Not
please,
this.
Doctor.
And you hand over his phaser like nothing's happened at all.
And give this to Mr. Scott in the event I don't return.
Is he going by himself?
He'll risk his neck locating Gaetano. Then if he finds him, he's just as liable to order him to stay behind.
Jeez. Holy mother. It's like he's on the bridge the way he's sitting there, isn't it? Or is it like the captain's chair?
Well, Mr. Spock, they didn't stay frightened very long, did they? Most illogical reaction. Demonstrated our superior weapons, they should have fled.
You mean they should have respected us?
Of course.
Mr. Spock, rational process. Did it ever occur to you they might react emotionally? They were perfectly predictable. To anyone with feeling. You might as well admit it, Mr. Spock. Precious logic brought them down on us.
Why haven't they done anything?
They're studying us.
What I do like is that Bones, like the lesser main characters, is also having to go at Spock. They killed one and not have killed the other one. Like, that is definitely on him.
I'm sick and tired of your logic.
We could use a little inspiration.
We continue to hope. Instruments are only slowly returning to an operable condition.
I'm surprised Kirk
as the
didn't beam
ion
down.
storm slowly disperses. What about radio communication?
Clearing slowly. Still incapable of transmission or reception.
Phones off my bridge, I'd be thankful.
I'm sure the authorities
said
will be
it.
pleased by your diligence.
I'm in command here.
Well, you are being a bit of a shithead.
You are, Captain. For another 2 hours and...
Again!
Could overload the shuttlecraft now, though.
Can't use any more.
If there's anything else you can unload to lighten the ship.
Mr. Gaetano's body is back there.
Oh,
It will,
God.
of course, have to be left behind.
Not without a burial, Mr. Spock.
It would expose members of his crew to unnecessary peril.
I'll take that chance. But I'm sick and tired of this machine.
That's enough.
Gentlemen. All right, Mr. Bowman.
It's absolutely This is a fascinating episode, I have to say. Really fascinating. Really well done.
Kirk, landing party number 2 has been beamed back to Force ship. They have casualties. 1 dead, 2 injured.
Oh, shit.
200 kilowatts on visual.
For the place, if the Galileo is down on that planet, I
Can't see
Thank
through
you,
it.
Lieutenant.
Haven't survived.
You better abandon search.
But Columbus hasn't returned yet. I still have 2 search parties out.
You're procrastinating, Captain. You have your orders.
I mean, there is orders. I mean, Spock was doing the exact same thing down on the planet. He was like, what's best for the crew, you know? They're your orders, don't fire at them.
The search parties have returned to the ship.
Sensor section
But
says the beams
there's
are
you can tell Kirk doesn't like making this decision.
Landing parties have beamed safely up.
And that's
All
it.
systems reports secured for warp factors.
No more excuses.
Here's the ship. Immediate liftoff. Lift off! Go back! Go! All right, go!
Oh, they helped him.
Go, Scott! You lift off. Don't be a fool, Mr. Spock. We couldn't leave you out there. Get us off, Scott.
I like that your man went back to help Spock as well, even after everything that happened between them. I'm assuming the Enterprise picked up their signal.
I don't want to die up here.
Infinitely preferable to the kind of death we'd be granted on the planet's surface, I should think.
Said a while ago that there were always alternatives.
Did I? I may have been mistaken.
Well, at least I lived long enough to hear that. Is there anything we...
Galileo to Enterprise. Galileo to Enterprise. Come in, please.
Mr. Spock.
Whoa!
How long have we got now, Scotty?
The orbit will start decaying as soon as the fuel's exhausted.
But it gives them an injection to go further in.
Sensors. A meteorite? No, it's holding a lateral line.
It's getting hot. Captain, transporter room just beamed up 5 persons.
Would he still be wondering why 5 and not 7 then?
Desperation is a highly emotional state of mind. How does your well-known logic explain that?
The only possible action would have to be one of desperation. Logical decision, logically arrived at.
Logically arrived at that
See, you mean you reasoned
decision.
that it was time. You're not going to admit that for the first time in your life, you committed a purely human, emotional act.
Isn't he like half human
No,
anyway?
sir.
Right, that was the Galileo 7, and I think this was one of the best episodes I have seen on the show so far. Absolutely enthralling stuff. Start with what really makes the episode is Spock and the decisions he makes, the logical decisions he makes, which, look, I'm not going to lie, I did agree with some of them, but the way he clashed with the other 2 crew members and Bones was just absolutely fascinating. Again, it's just seeing the different approaches of different cultures, how the Vulcan looks at it, and how humans look at it. And I think just because, as a human being, I tend to side with the human characters a lot of the time. You know, again, I'm not denying that some of the decisions Spock made were right and the right thing to do, but there were some decisions that he wasn't doing the right thing, and I like that it shows that like some of the decisions he made were wrong, like when he left your man to guard on his own saying that he'd be safe and then he was killed. Like, you know, he made a bad move, a bad calculated move on that. Yeah, it was just brilliant stuff. Really enjoyed it. Then I loved the whole premise and idea of crash landing on a strange planet. So you throw that on as well, and the strange giant creature kind of in the backdrop. Yeah, just really good. And then you had the stuff even with Kirk and trying to find ways to prolong the search with your man on his back the whole time. And again, he had to go by the book and go by his orders. So this kind of idea of duty, but what your mind and your heart tells you, and kind of that conscience. This kind of clash of cultures, clash of emotions, clash of what's the right thing to do. It's an episode that really makes you think. So yeah, really enjoyed this episode. But guys, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Galileo 7. Where would this rank among your favorite Star Trek episodes? As I said, this is top tier for me. And Spock, I think really, this is the best Spock-centric episode we've seen so far. So yeah, really good stuff. But yeah, as I said, in the comments, would love to hear your thoughts. But until next time, guys, slán go fóill.